All right, you guys, so here's our second day of distance learning. We started with chapter 7 with sub-problems, and I went through a couple examples with you. That's all I intend to do today, go through a couple examples with you again, get you going on some problems, and tomorrow will be very similar. So, chapter 7, if you, we'll let this load up here. Okay, if you guys turn in your book page 182, you will see this car problem, this car bargain problem, and we will go through this together. So, Paul went into the local new car lot to buy a car. He knew the kind of car he wanted because his friend Barbara Gain had bought the same car as his the day before. Barbara received a 30% discount on the car, which was listed at $15,000. Now, the salesperson offered Paul the same $15,000 car at a 20% discount, so he protested and said, "Hey, Barbara got a 30% discount." So the salesperson said, "I'll tell you what, I'll give you additional 10% off of the 20% I've already given you." This offer satisfied Paul, and he went ahead and purchased the car, convinced he had gotten a better deal. Had he? Well, that's our problem, right? We need to go through and determine how much Paul paid, how much Barbara paid, and was it the same? Was it the same deal? Okay? So, we've got a little bit of work to do here. We need to write out our answers in the form of sub problems. So, first one, what is 30% of $15,000? Okay, so I'm going to kind of work through this with you guys. So, of course, 15,000 times 0.3 is $4,500. So that's the discount that Barbara got. How much did Barbara pay for the car? Well, it was at $15,000. If I subtract the $4,500 that we just got, now we're at $10,500. And you know, when the math is this simple on these, you guys, you don't have to actually do the math on the side. Sometimes, for some of the tougher problems, maybe, but for these ones, I don't need to see the actual calculation. The result is fine. What is 20% off the 15,000? So now we're talking about what Paul did. So 15,000 times 0.2, okay? Paul got 3,000 off initially. What is the sale price that Paul protested? Well, so if we took 3,000 off of the 15,000, okay, the salesperson initially offered Paul 12,000, which was not as good a deal as Barbara. So then he said, "All right, I'm going to give you 10% off." Well, 10% off that 12,000 is just $1,200, okay? So ultimately then, what did Paul pay, right? What is the final price that Paul paid? Well, we were at 12,000, 1,200 off from that is $10,800. Well, the very last question we need to ask is what? Who paid more and how much? Okay? Well, obviously Paul paid more. Paul paid $10,800. Barbara paid $10,500. So Paul paid more and $300 more. Okay, so we got through the question. We listed some problems. We answered those as we went, and we ultimately answered the final question. Okay? So that takes us through the first example. Let's look at the next one that goes along with it in the book. It's called Paint. It's on page 184. Okay? And here's this one. A mixture is 25% red paint, 30% yellow paint, and 45% water. If 4 quarts of the red paint are added to the 20 quarts of the original mixture, what is the percentage of red paint in the new mixture? Okay, so these mixture problems can get confusing sometimes. We're used to doing them with algebra, but we're going to kind of use sub-problems here as we go. So, how many quarts of red paint are in the original mixture? All right, well, the original mixture had 20 quarts, and we knew that 25% of it was red paint. So if you take 20 quarts times 25%, 5 quarts of the original figure, or of the original mixture, was red paint. How many quarts of red paint are in the new mixture? Okay, well, we started with 20 quarts. we added 4 quarts of red paint. So we had 5 quarts of red paint, we added 4 quarts of red paint. We have 9 quarts of red paint in the new mixture. Okay, fair enough. How many quarts of paint are in the new mixture? Well, the original mixture had 20 quarts. We added 4 quarts. Now we're at 24 quarts of paint, including all of the different colors. Okay? And lastly, I went through it again. What percentage of the new mixture is red paint? Well, in order to figure out the percentage, we need to figure out how much of it is red paint. We decided 9 quarts was red paint. We need to divide that by how many quarts of paint there were, which we decided was 24. Okay? We need to change that into a percentage. So 9 divided by 24, I get 0.375, which is 37.5% red paint. Okay? And so an example of how I want you to work through these problems, if you have questions, please feel free to email me as we go. The assignment that I want you to do for that one, numbers 6, 8, and 11 out of the dog's book, and then Web 29, and you guys know what I mean by that. So thank you, and we'll see you again tomorrow.